Everyone that comes closer gets tremendously true hints to go to their true twin flame. They get to be in connection with the direct experience of the harmonious union vibration that is passed on from teacher to student. And before you're there, Divine Mother whispers in my ear about what you need to know, if you should go left or right, if you should look around to get to know the twin flame, which one it really is, or if you should go on the inside only for the coming time. Everything comes together for the people that truly come closer to me and my working practice in my coaching business. All the time. It is amazing. What I have seen the past years has been beyond amazing. It simply works by the grace of me having it, me having been revealed the true tools, me extending the true vibration. And what people go through is the letting go of who they thought they were, sometimes also who they thought was their twin flame, but that's not always necessary. It depends. And it also doesn't matter. What matters is that you arrive. And they go through periods in which they go in. They get to know the tools, how they truly work on them. They get in the habit of it. They get to really feel at home inside of the working of these tools. They get to use the energy work as a support for the central tool, which is the key tool. But there's some more around it and stuff. They get to have miraculous experiences because they get to learn what it means to look through the eyes of harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state. And then suddenly they have it. It's there. It has presented itself. Knowing who the true twin flame is has occurred. And everything starts to fall into place definitively. And you can start to build this life with your true twin flame, the ultimate romance with them, your ultimate lover. Your mission starts to become known. You can start to exude that mission from the heart and place actions in that too. Maybe even for the support of your mission business, build for the support of your mission, build a mission business. Get to know how that works. It does work with professional coaching business structures, but it's also significantly different. So that you actually need to learn that inside here to get it correct, to get it all worked out in a way that works in harmonious twin flame union, in combination with the marriage with your ultimate forever lover. And this all happens for people. They go there. They get to know what the real deal is for uniquely them. Through this opening of, well, heaven, frankly, that we have here for you. And that makes it easy. That makes it quick. That makes it so that you can have your harmonious union now. Now. What you want now. Well, maybe the now is in time, counted in time, more or less like, well, I think it would be reasonable to take 3 years for this process, and then it all starts to fall into place for you. But that's very quick. I spent 32 years for it or something. And you may be like a decade on the way as well. So that's very quick. And we've seen that it can be even reached until the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union within 4 months and 4 days. When you're ripe to go there. People meet their soul family members, their actual soul family members, according to God in the order of life itself, not according to, oh, we call everyone we like a soul family member because that sounds cool. No, that's not what that means. They're true soul family members. They get to learn lessons there so awesome. They bring you deeper in the mystery of life so that you become healed to a level that you've never even thought of before that would be possible. There's a lot of trauma healing as well that happens here. It's very normal that people on the journey get to be confronted with I truly have trauma. There's something inside of me that's so hard to work through. It's really like a fossilized energy that has disrupted sane patterns in my mind and but also in my brain and in my energy system and in my functioning of my body. It just disrupts it. How I was treated as a child and how that became fossilized patterns, or how you were treated in a narcissistic, abusive love relationship that you went through as an adult or something. Just an example. And it left its marks. A lot is about that, like under the umbrella of doing always the central twin flame inner work. Yes, with the key tool and with support and with a teacher and with support of the energy system, etc. That central twin flame inner work, that is always the priority and the umbrella. But underneath it, you will go through periods in which you only can see your trauma. And that happens for the people that come here, that come closer, that become students, that go deeper, that invest, that commit, that really want it, that do make it come true. They get to know their trauma. And that's like the daily experience of what they need to look in the eye for some time. For most, that is in some sort of way so. Because everything starts to tumble out of you. That is not it. That is not the vibration of harmonious twin flame union. It just starts to tumble out of your nervous system, out of your brain memories, of your heart memories. It starts to tumble out and present itself to you, and you'll need to work through that. Within, again, the umbrella of the twin flame work, only then does it make sense. Only then it will be processed in the correct way. Only then you will go to a resolution of it that is, well, resolved forever after, and no remnants. I even got tools from the Christ masters that I co-create with in spirit to be able to bring you this whole atmosphere of healing and harmonious union and whatnot of the true twin flame. I was called back to learn a new extra technique that is actually also an extension of the key tool to treat you with for trauma. Yeah, there was a very special happening. It seemed to work out. These are all the things that people go through. Revelation of the true twin flame, the revelation of what their true mission really is. And what that does to them, like shockingly, like waking up, like becoming your true self, reaching the alignment with God, precisely going directly in the development path of who you are in union and you will be forever after. It's like a definitive identity. And you start to work with that and get to know it and get to taste it and all of that. Okay, so these are all things that happen when people come closer. And that's why the topic of today is the miraculous fullness of the magical twin flame offer. Because that's a lot of things. That's a lot of things that people experience when they come in the atmosphere here, when they come to the community, when they commit to a regular relationship with me, when they buy the e-courses and whatnot. But the title of this, we are going to do a little bit of an oracle card reading helped by Divine Mother, as always. The title, The Miraculous Fullness of the Magical Twin Flame Offer, it does have an extension as well. And I extended it to include also this part. And those that throw everything away, nevertheless. Because there are people that go through multiple elements that I have just explained to you in the correct way, in the divine way, in the aligned way, and nevertheless throw everything away. And this has remarkably happened more than you would think it would happen, because of course you would also say, just like I would say, like, oh, but my true twin flame, I would always embrace them. Like, no cell in me would be thinking that I wouldn't accept that. Well, I hope so. Many people would have thought that, would have said that, and they nevertheless, through everything they had reached, was blood, sweat, and tears, investments of time, of money. They nevertheless threw it away. So, yeah, that happens too. It's very interesting. It is certainly not something that I advise. I don't stand for that. I also don't enjoy it. And I want with all my might for you to not do that. But it does occur. So I thought it was an interesting, it's interesting that that happens. Like let don't let that be you as well. It's like a warning. Anyway, it's like realism, I guess. So yeah, we're gonna look into all of this. Like, what is this miraculous fullness of the magical twin flame offer that we have here, and why is it so full? What is it full with? What does all of this mean? How can it be yours? And how can you make sure that you don't throw it away, right? So I guess that's a little bit the scope of what we're gonna look into with Divine Mother here, with the oracle cards, and of course also maybe a little bit of the question, like, is that true? What are you killing? Are you kidding me? Not killing me. Are you kidding me? Like, how is that possible? Okay, well, let's have a look. We start with my own card deck, the Union and Mission cards, and we're going to select 4 cards. 1, I have it here for resources. 2, for the goal. 3, for the foundation. And 4, for the essence. Well, that was quick. Intuitively gotten the cards. So let's have a look. What Divine Mother, through my Union and Mission card deck, has to say about it. Resources. From the created to the acknowledgement of the news value. Acknowledge your news. What? See 3.2. It's like we have the infinity symbol that is like vibrating as if it's a tuning fork. What about that? from the created to the acknowledgement of the news value of it. Well, maybe that speaks for itself already. I mean, I have created this work, the tool, the e-courses, the community, the opportunity for you to come to sessions and whatnot. And I've created all the social media about it, the messages, the posts, the videos, and that's just like it points to the fact that that is so organically the truth, what happens here. And the fact that I speak about that here in the video today is like the news value. So it seems to indicate just simply what we're doing here today. I'm just speaking about what happens all the time, what the work is, what happens, what is happening here, what is happening here in the channel, on the channel, and also behind the channel in the community, in the coaching, in the Facebook community, etc., etc. And the title of the description of this card is Enrich the World. Right. Yeah. Seems like we're still in the same direction. Like, this is what we're doing here. Take softly in your hand what is of value. Do not manipulate it. Instead, care for it. It is a drop of the highest value, and it costs no effort to make it flow through your fingers to the other places where it is needed most. In yourself and in your environment. Ease is important here because only then the flow comes without effort. Yes, your place in the flow of life is of the biggest importance. This is the biggest acknowledgement of your role without being overly demonstrative about it. You have in your hands, without having in your hands, because it's from God, what we do here, and that is the correct attunement for value. You will be seen when you see yourself in that. The space you give by not coming forward ostentatiously will become filled by the universe with loving results and people that can become clients or the twin flame itself, right? That would be for you. If you can go to that place where you have it in your hands without having it in your hands because you let God work through you, that is the place where you attract your true twin flame and will be in union. Congratulations. This is truly having. Like, not having is having. Like, letting go is having. That's a little bit what is described here. Very interesting. Keeping means to let it flow through. The flow of life runs through you as well. It flows in a unique way. Only through you, this specific value comes into the world to enrich it. You are free while you still have in your hands what the world needs. In freedom, you can share and shape this unique intersection in which essential value and the thirst of the world come together. You feel where this point lies for others too. Wow, well, I think this is really like a literal description of what I just had been talking about. Yeah, resources place. This is what we're doing in this reading. This is what I'm doing right now. Present you with what is already happening, what is flowing through here all the time. Just as a conversation, just as something that, I can talk about that because we have some years experience after the coming into existence of the truth and the work and my own harmonious twin flame union and my own initiation as a teacher of it, etc., etc. And the success of a couple of people, I have brought 4 people completely to harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state that it is about, which are part of 3 unions. That may sound interesting. 2 people came to me and they were each other's true twin flame. That's also one thing that happens here. Is like part of like the big miraculous fullness of things that apparently happens here. And I'm not trying to be ostentatious, how the text of the card also talked about it. That's just what happened. And after so many years, you can verbalize that. That's just basically what I'm doing here. So, and one of the things that I also have seen happening is that I've created a place that naturally attracts twin flames to each other in this place. Not only in your life, in a sense, separate, more or less, depends on what you mean with separate, from here, from the community, but also literally in the community. People attracted their true twin flame in the community. Because actually, when you think about it, it's very logic, because like God created this place through me to exist. And because your twin flame is like your highest connection under God, and the first one too. Um, yeah, where would you meet them? What sounds logic to you? Like in a place where there's no connection, no alignment, no God, no spirituality, no twin flame knowledge, or in a place where all of that is condensed? Well, it's actually logic that you would meet in such a place where that is already flowing and already happening. And like unbeknownst to yourself, that can happen. This happened 2 times. But the first time this happened in my community, these people did not continue on until harmonious twin flame union. They broke it off, their journey off. It happens, it's your choice, right? I can only do so much for people. There comes a point in which it is not up to me. It's like you stand on that choice and that's it. And maybe sometimes I acknowledge that for you, or I have to acknowledge that for you. But I can't make your choices. I would wish I, I potentially would wish that, yeah. And then I would choose the very best for you, like your harmonious twin flame union and all the abundance that is opened up through it for you to flow to you, for free. For free. When you're in harmonious union, your abundance starts to flow to you. And I want that for you. So that's what I would choose for you, but that's not how that works. Luckily, not how that works. You can and you should choose yourself. There is like a huge factor of free will and autonomy under God, that you are wanting and choosing your part of our co-creation to make it all come true yourself. And you can also not do that or play the role of um, your own saboteur. What about that? That's sometimes possible. It happens. It's a possibility of life that you play your own saboteur's role. And yeah, I can try to make you aware of that as far as I am able to, with the instruments also that you give me, how much access you give me to you. But sometimes that doesn't work. And sometimes people have already drawn their conclusion and walked off before we can even get there and whatnot. And that's allowed and that's good, because it means that we're just adults among each other here that can make our own choices, which is also how God would see you, as a fully capable soul that has everything they need to be able to choose for themselves, to be able to, yeah, make choices that work for you in co-creation with God. That's also always God's invitation. Now, I often say Divine Mother because that is a way in which she almost like merged with me in this work. There is also a Petra that is like in a private life, dancing around in her living room or something. But yeah, in this role, she is some sort of merged with me, and that's at this point what it sort of comes down to. That's why I a lot of the time say Divine Mother. Let's look at the next card in the next position, the position of the goal. The position of the goal. The goal of having or being in this miraculous fullness of the twin flame offer that we have here, with all the very many things that happen for people here. And this is the card moving from self acknowledgement to value, the card of my own union and mission deck that I made. Moving from self acknowledgement to value for the goal. Throwing your heart in this pond, in the sea, in the ocean of love. Move from self acknowledgement to value, the goal. Let's look into the booklet how the card is called. Cast your heart in the sea. You have arrived at the invitation to self acknowledgement, pure and simple. The acknowledgement of what and who you are, and where you are too, is a powerful tool for transformation and manifestation. Transformation to a bigger vibration and manifestation of your intentions, including the materialization of your union, but of money too, your natural abundance when you are in union. But you are not there yet. You are at a moment in which you discover the acknowledgement and start to really execute it. You are valuable and you create value. This fact can now be researched in your heart and become clear. When you feel that out, your heart will light up and a desire will arise in you to share from it. You can at first leave it there for a bit at this desire, so you feel that through fully. This is how you give yourself first, and that is how everything of value starts. Right, so you become full of it yourself first, and then you pass it on. That's how you share value. When you become more full yourself in your heart and your own fulfillment, you can later on also give without having to give anything up. Right. Giving is not giving up, giving is sharing from what is overflowing from your own cup. The goal, we talk about the goal. For that matter, the act of casting your heart in the sea is not an action, but a grace that comes into existence from a longing. You share that grace with others that had a similar pain of emptiness you once had at a certain point of your journey. This is your gift, and it will be given automatically. The way your heart will fall into the proverbial ocean of your feelings by mere proverbial gravitational force, which is the movement of becoming true. You could imagine that underneath the water of the ocean, an ocean ground exists, and the heart will indeed slowly sink towards that rock solid existence and arrive. The heart will be rocked there in the rhythm of the earth, suckling the breast of the ocean floor. This is where she is home. This is how you add service to how your product will fall out for your customer in your mission. Or this is how you add belonging to your twin flame union in harmony. Being refreshed and nurtured by the primal mother of the universe can be executed through your very product or your very union. And this is a true beginning of that. Congratulations. You can bring other people to self acknowledgement by seeing them and your twin flame also, seeing the truth in them, and to acknowledge that with your words in a loving way. Through this, you can help people or your twin flame directly and powerfully. This is a quality that is important in every company, in every professional situation, and every union too. This is the beginning of everything that is valuable, and the beginning and the core of selling and of coming in harmonious twin flame union. So the goal is, this is what I'm taking from it, that you need to become full yourself, filled with the consciousness of God, filled with the twin flame love. And then when your cup is full and starts to run over, you share it. And who will be there to share it with? Well, people will come out of the woodwork to receive it. These are your soul clients, but I know we all want to in first instance know about the twin flame, so that will be your twin flame. The twin flame will come out of the woodworks to be there, to receive that what bubbles over of your cup. And that's beautiful because you have healed yourself, you have nourished yourself truly, and then you can share from it, and twin flame will show up to be part of that. That's just a rule, and it's true, and it will happen. And then people would sometimes be like distraught, like, what? Why do I need to do the work? But that's like a wrong perception. It's a wrong way to look at it. Didn't you hear, I would say to such a person, didn't you hear the part in which you were becoming full yourself? Don't you want to become full yourself? Wasn't that part of your whole goal here on earth, of the journey to begin with? You think you can stay empty yourself, yet still have the twin flame and the harmonious union and be happy and get the marriage and stay together indefinitely, but you're empty? You think that's possible? No, it's not possible. And you may say, well, let them fill their cup and then pour over to me. Well, it always looks like it always will have the perception, but not the truth, but the perception of that it's you that does it and then bring it to them, but they will answer and bring to you. And that is because while you make yourself filled before you can share, they do that at the same time in their own way, in their own emptiness, because you do your part. And if that doesn't happen at all, it's not your twin flame, because the definition is that you are part of the same spirit core. And when that is not so, then you're not twin flames, which doesn't need to be bad. It just means that your twin flame is still out there waiting for you to reveal who they truly are. And that's fine too. Just do the inner work and keep on going. Go to a true teacher, to a real community. Start to do the true work, and you will arrive, guaranteed. Because I actually do guarantee it. Did you know that? I recently also published a certificate of guarantee for you. Yeah. Moving from self-acknowledgement to value. That is always how the twin flame works. The twin flame works in the order of you acknowledge yourself, and then you have that value to share, and then the twin flame shows up to indeed share it. And they have done exactly the same thing at the same time, and they're sharing back with you. Well, maybe a little bit in timing, in a different, with a different accent in the time or something. But do you really want to cut off your true twin flame and the success of your journey because of these kinds of details? That is just silliness. And it's not the unconditional divine love that it's supposed to be about. People do cut it off for things like that. It does happen. People cut it off for all kinds of reasons. For that, the true twin flame wasn't who they thought they were. It was. It's too difficult to work through the trauma that you're at this moment confronted with. That you need to work through to be able to keep it. Um, the twin flame has another kind of body than they thought they had. Um, these kinds of things, but also other things, and it can be just anything actually, because people walk away from the journey when something happens that is their personal sensitive moment of this goes too far. And what exactly that is, we don't know. It's dependent on your pattern of upsets inside of you that already was there. And everyone goes through such a moment that you think that it goes too far. And you have to get beyond that. And that's where you get everything, and the happiness and the abundance and the marriage and everything is waiting there for you. So that beyond that moment is everything that you're waiting for, that you're wanting. And that's always the case. But it will be in the form that is unique to you. And it is, of course, connected to your central, maybe we could call that block or issue, or that central thing in your union that is, for the most part, responsible for the fact that you're not in union yet, that you're here listening to this, right? All right, let's move on to the next card in the next position, and that is the foundation. Oh, foundation. Well, it's again about value. It's all about value today. Value, value, value. 3 cards about value. This is the biggest value card in the whole deck of like 70 cards or something. I don't know. 8, value. Well, and this is the symbol for the egg that is on fire. The egg that is on fire is the symbol for top of the head energy field there from the 9-point energy system that I created with Divine Mother, that this card deck refers to all the time. Because all this work is one, and the key tool, which is the central, unmissable twin flame tool that you always need to go back to, whatever is the case, that is also interconnected with the cards and with the energy system, etc., etc. That's how I created the material that is helpful for you. And I actually do want everyone that comes to me to sort of check themselves into this spiritual work. That is really a foundation that is so supportive and so helpful. It's like a spiritual, I don't know, groundwork, like spiritual, traditional spiritual journey. And with these helping building blocks, we can also truly make you go to your true twin flame and harmonious union now. But that really works. This whole educational experience, how I can help you, works really well when you tune yourself into this energy work curriculum, right? And yeah, I mean, the cards are like part of that. The energy points are part of that. The key tool is part of that. And it all works together. And it's also like described in my books and all of that. So, yeah, that's really one of the big advices here for the miraculous fullness of the twin flame offer here, that you tune yourself into that energy work. And then we can work with how that is at this moment standing for uniquely you, and how we can then bring you from wherever you are being checked in into this systematic work, so to speak, and then we can bring you to your true twin flame from there on out. And there are very many supportive arms around you at that moment, and clues about where you are, where you're going, what you could do next, etc., etc. That's like really the advantage of it. And I sort of created this anew in this lifetime, I would also want to say, because I do remember past lifetimes in which I was also a spiritual teacher. But we weren't here yet. We weren't yet where I'm now, where I just wanted to have like an easy system for everyone around there in like a fresh way. And then especially also I integrated this whole opportunity to go to your true twin flame and harmonious union. And I got that through this episode in my life that I already closed off and fully received, in which I co-created with the Christ Masters that are here on earth now to roll the harmonious union idea out for the first time in history, fully, completely, and for everyone at an early stage in your spiritual journey, instead of being with your ending up with your twin flame all the way when you are literally a saint. And even then you have to choose it for it to stick around. But now we can just bring that back to the front and be with your twin flame together now. But that's a possibility that you have to choose, and you have to have this groundwork of spiritual work that I would like you to tune into, and that would be my spiritual work that I created. And then we can bring you from there on out to the consciousness, to the state of being with your twin flame now, and then doing the rest of the work and the rest of the journey, becoming a saint or however you want to call that, together. Yeah, that's actually the joy it is really about. That's actually living on heaven on earth with your twin flame. That's the abundance that flows to you and doesn't stop embracing you and giving you what you need on every moment. And that is living the life, the ultimate life and the ultimate romance together with your twin flame, and creating and building together everything that you ever wanted, that your heart truly desires. The you here is not the ego. The you that gets everything that they wanted is, of course, the soul for who they are in their true form, in their union role. It's not the ego, because maybe once long ago or a short while ago you thought that you needed to have two Lamborghinis, one red one and a yellow one, and only then you would be happy and have everything that your heart desired. But right now, when you are in harmonious twin flame union, that has changed. Now you're not in your ego anymore, and those Lamborghinis, the red one and the yellow one, they just have lost its value for you, because now you actually come out to be as a person that really needs to have 5 Porsches. What do you think I was gonna say? You come out to be as a person that now needs to have only some food to eat under an umbrella, and they don't need a home, and they also don't need a car. Just an umbrella, and they'll sleep on the ground and have just some rice to eat. That's all. Okay, so that was like another point that I wanted to bring across. It's not always how all kinds of cliches would want you to think. But it can be truly different. It can be truly different than what you thought you were and who you are now in harmonious twin flame union. Can be truly different. But the difference can also be different than you thought. So that's very interesting always to see. So, would you like the Lamborghini or the Porsche? Let me know. No, that's nonsense. But okay. So, I think it's time to go to the next card because I forgot what we were talking about because of my own joke. So, now we go to the point of essence. What is the essence of the miraculous fullness of the twin flame offer that we have here, that everybody experience all the time with their soul family members that they experience meeting, and the true twin flame that comes forward instead of the false one, and the miraculous healings of the body, of the emotions, of your trauma, of your mental health, and all the other things that people go through all the time here. What is the essence of that? And we again have a card from a series that talks about making known the value all the time. So the essence is, according to Divine Mother and myself, revealing of what is created and the value of it. That's the essence. And we again see an infinity symbol that is vibrating as if it's a tuning fork with the vibration of the divine and of harmonious twin flame union, of course. And it is some sort of underwater, under the water line. Water is really a symbol for the feelings and the feelings of the heart. Revealing of what is created and the value of it, that's the essence. It is true for sure that it's a revelation. It's a revelation that you go through. It's a revelation to know who your true twin flame is, to know who your true identity of yourself is inside your union. It's a revelation who your soul family members are. That also showed up in the community at the same time as you. Almost impossible, you'd say, but it's really true. Very helpful because also with them you can work out uh, very core issues together if you, for instance, start a friendship. And then you can make use of that because now you've worked on issues together in that friendship, just automatically by itself, just by connecting. And these were actually issues that you both in your own individual twin flame journey had to resolve already anyway before you would be able to end up with your true twin flame in your harmonious twin flame union consciousness state. And that goes more effective and quicker and more to the core, more thorough with a soul family member than with anybody else. It's really amazing. That's just one of the things that happens in the miraculous fullness of the twin flame offer that we have here. But it's a revelation. It's a revelation that is inside you. You experience that when you do the true work in the embrace, the energetic embrace of the true teacher. And it will be in a revelation like, oh, God showed me this. It's an inner seeing, an inner getting clear in a way that is so clear and so pure and so definitive that it can't be made undone anymore. And that's it. And now you can build on it. You can stand on it, and it will keep on being your foundation. And nothing will fall over anymore once you stand on that foundation. That kind of information that builds you up in the true version of you, in alignment with the divine. That kind of information is the revelation that you get all the time. It's a revelation. It's a direct communication of God. And it works on the inside, but it also works directly, immediately, also on the outside. It's inner and outer at once, at the same time. That's what a miracle is. And a revelation is a miraculous communication from the divine itself, your divine core itself. And your union lives in the divine core. And it's at the same time outside because the teacher will see it with you, together with you. And it's at the same time outside because what will be revealed to you, who your true twin flame is, who your true identity is in your union, is not something that you're going to keep secret now. Yesterday I still thought that was my false twin flame, was my twin flame, and now it's someone else. I don't want anyone to know. Oh, not even my teacher. Oh, or I will do as if I accept it, but actually I don't, which is the same as hiding from it. But that doesn't work. It's a revelation that is working towards the inside and towards the outside at the same time. But of course, in the safe place that the community itself is, that the relationship with the teacher itself is. It is something that is being revealed inside and outside at once. Don't hide from it or you'll lose it. It's not a secret. Which doesn't mean that you need to go to, I don't know, like Times Square or something and shout it to everybody that you don't know. No, don't do that. Just be normal, okay? Do it at the appropriate place. But it is open and it is shared. There's in that sense, there's no privacy within the community. We always know what you're doing. That may sound awful, but it's true. Because everything influences the community, everything influences the way the community functions, everything influences the health of the community, everything influences once we get more people that get to the harmonious union state of consciousness, the easier it becomes for other people to go there too. You're not doing it alone in so many ways. And when you're stuck in your, for instance, your self-sabotage mode, you become also a saboteur for the general process, for me, for the community, for the Facebook group, for everyone. And you need to do your inner work, or there will be like an an end time to your ability to remain being around. Okay, so we have, of course, a description of the card. Living your energy signature. This is the essence of the miraculous fullness of the twin flame offer. Living your energy signature. Acknowledging yourself for where you truthfully are helps. Not where you think you are, while you are in fact kidding yourself and others as well. A real disservice to your twin flame that might be trapped because of it unknowingly. This can happen quite unconsciously when you are at the same time fooling yourself. But we do not need to be judgmental about this. See it for what it is. Forgive yourself, feel the ground underneath the lie, stand on it, and move further to new grounds. Acknowledging yourself comes first. When you then move on this true ground, your twin flame can acknowledge you there with their very being. Yeah, because if you're lying to yourself, your twin flame won't be able to be with you because they won't know that it's you. Okay. You reveal the value of the moment, of yourself, of your union with your twin flame through this process. You reveal the value through this process of becoming aligned with the true you. Your creation is the same as your truth. And blessed is the moment in which the new truth surfaces in its fullness. In the holistic relationship inside of union, you do indeed have the patience to let the truth surface. This goes for the creation of the twin flame relationship so that your love is truthful. But this also goes for your position in your relationships outside of your union. Your position when you are relating from the soul is often unclear for third parties. They could really possibly not see you, and this can lead to many misunderstandings that you will need to navigate by making a choice between being assertive or letting the other be, depending on the situation. Sometimes more people will fall away than you could ever have foreseen on this journey of soulful self acknowledgement. Once you go through the gate, you will paradoxically still arrive at your union's abundance. And that is not always made out of the social love, but it is always made out of divine love. It is made out of peace. It is appropriate for you and your twin flame and is your silent and enormous contribution to a new heaven on earth. Standing on your own in your union and living your own story of divine love inside of that is what will attract your twin flame and your social life around that as well. Whether this will be slow or fast, completely at once, one or in drops of moments that increase gradually. Show who and what you are. Have patience, and your union's energy signature and environment collide in the most appropriate way. Alrighty. It's true that very many people, relationships, are very healing on the twin flame journey. And still they might fall away. And in general, very many relationships might fall away more than you would ever have thought that was sane or necessary or what have you. Because we in general do live quite on a different vibration in the world before we are in union, before we are in the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union, then harmonious twin flame union. It's a very different vibration, the gap is significant. That's why you listen to me now. That's why we have the work. That's not, you're not bad because of that. It's kind of normal as well. If you think about it, it's very new still in the world that we roll this out for people to have this in the early stages of the journey for you and me, normal people, instead of the saints only. It's very new. There are only like a couple of dozen, literally, that are in harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state. They're like ascending and being joyfully together with their true important twin flame and going that journey in a sustainable way. There are only a couple of dozen of that in the world. And that also actually means the universe. Like aliens exist, but they're not aliens. They're also souls. They're like us. The essence of what you are is you are a soul. That makes you a human, if you will. But the word doesn't matter. The word human doesn't matter. The world is okay, but it's like the universe is actually made at the same moment by God, created in the same instance. Is that the word? Yeah. Okay, I'm clearly not a native speaker. Anyway. And you'll also see, for instance, that, at this moment, there are actually only two places where you can truly get the true twin flame work with all these perks that I'm talking about in this episode of Twin Flame Abundance live at this time. Like the true twin flame harmonious union as a consciousness state, meeting your soul family underway, um, getting it as some sort of the flame passes on from me to you, getting the true tool that was revealed by Divine Mother herself, etc., etc. There are actually only two places in the world at this moment where you can get that too. And and the consequence of that is that there are only two places in the universe where you can get that. That's what that means. Two places in the universe. So, yeah, how did we get there? I don't remember. Let me know. So now we have a reading with the resources and the resources that was. Yeah, your value. The goal was to flow over from first making your own cup become full. And the foundation is, did we even read that? This is really strange. It sounds to me as though we haven't even read the text. Why have we not? We haven't even read the text of the foundation, and then we moved on to essence. That's what I just talked about, right? Revealing of what is created and the value of it. It sounds to me as though I haven't read the text of 8 value. I have just been talking. Okay. Because it really looks like it. I don't know how that happened. We'll now read the text of 8 value, experience related to the essence of a process or product or union that is tangible in the inner and acknowledged in the outer, first by yourself. And by that, and then after that, also by others. Well, we heard that one before. That's the order that was also in goal. That's the order in which things should happen for you. That's what value is. First becoming full and then sharing of it. So the foundation talks about that again. But the full text has as title this, Married to Essential Value. Wow. Married to essential value. So you're just going to get married to this process of allowing yourself to be full of God, of the value of the divine. And that attracts your twin flame. That makes you share from it. That makes you have the mission, which is the sharing. So you just marry this essential value sharing from the divine to you. And you choose to be with your twin flame now, and you do all the things like being with a teacher, being in community, do the right tool, do it all the time, etc., etc. Invest in it, commit to it, and then you are with your twin flame while the divine pours you full of divine value. And then it will flow over in your life as well, which is another way of saying how the abundance comes in your life through your true twin flame. Anyway, let's read the true text now because I hadn't before. True value is effortless and surrounded by surrender. This kind of value has the tendency to grow automatically when there is a presence and an unattached vigilance. Feel your feelings while being present next to this space full of energetic value and let go what is no longer needed. You are in relationship with what is best for you, and that is the best for your surroundings as well, and your union too. Stay in a feeling presence and do not revert back to ego action. For this, it helps to stay away from places and people that stimulate you in that. And there are usually a lot of them because the world is not that far developed yet as we may sometimes believe or hope. So, in other words, we have a community here and we have a way to come closer to the teacher and all these things, and that serves a purpose because it's in some way, not in an unhealthy way is meant here, but in a healthy, in a sane way. It focuses your attention towards what is useful for you in this great transformatory time. in which your harmonious union comes into being, and you heal yourself through your wounds and your traumas in the first time afterwards as well. And that is just going to be so helpful to go to a place where you can focus on that and leave the rest for a while. If you have gone through the movement of going to harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state, and you have moved through your biggest traumas before or during or afterwards, and you start to build with your true twin flame a little bit, and you start to get used to how all of that feels there in this new state of being and whatnot, and you really get to know yourself in this new way for a good part, then you can always still see what you still want to revisit of like the old things, right? Of the ego life, perhaps, to call it like that. You can always see what you would like to bring back of that. It's no problem, but it's very good to focus for a while. Do this without judgment. It is a perception that the world is full of this, not something to detain yourself into and throw away the key. So you need to see the world as full of value, and that's your perception that you can switch on in yourself. That is like a spiritual light switch that you can put on, but you're free to do that. You're not flogged into it or something. It's not a curse. Do not something to detain yourself into and throw away the key. Don't make it more harsh on you or something. Just know that you can switch on the perception to see the world as the valuable place for your soul's development into harmonious twin flame union, and keep at it, because it is for you that place. You are lit because of essence, and that is everything that matters at this moment. Let your fire do its work until your idea, your start, your value becomes more and more visible. And stay close to this source. Growth will follow as a universal law, like the moon at night. After the dark, the light returns. Growth will follow as a universal law, like the moon at night, and after the dark, the light returns. You are the star in your own universe and will be able to get into deep relaxation in that notion. Sets free the space for action. Now you follow the guidance for action with deeply relaxed focus. Step by step in an eternal spiral will be born what you uniquely share with the world and with your union. You are blessed with the inborn potential to become conscious of your inner value. Use it. Feel your body's details and your energy field in which your body bathes. Now you become conscious of the source of where all this comes from. Who are you therein? This is what you pledge your oath of ultimate commitment to. Wow, it's like pledging an oath to your true divine identity, right? And that was the foundation. And then we went to the last position of the card. That was the essence position. And that was living your energy signature, which again explains how to live who you are essentially in divine light, in your union, as your divine identity. So the miraculous fullness of the twin flame offer that we have here really is about giving you the opportunity to get to know who and what you really are in the light of your union, in the light of your harmonious union, and in the light of your relationship with the divine. And this all belongs closely and intimately together. So who you are in that light. And you get to smell that and taste it and touch it and get to know it in new ways and experiment with it and experience the universal, and unconditional love inside of it. and experience who you are in relationship to your true twin flame and who you are in that role, and if you are the divine feminine or the divine masculine, and how that correlates with your thinking about your gender that you did until that moment, and how it correlates with your body's form, and what you feel most at home in inside of the accepting of both your body and your gender and your role in the union as a divine feminine or divine masculine, always one of the two. You just get to feel at home more inside of what you are, and live it and be it, and manifest it, and that also attracts your true twin flame, because that's the one that clicks in there with you feeling at home with who you are. That's the definition of what the twin flame is. They click in there with you in 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 essence, but also in form. And that form can be like, oh, I'm not there yet. Oh, I'm still very much in the beginning of a transformation in form. There's so much to grow into and to test out and to to manifest and to, I don't know. But that doesn't matter. We all need to start somewhere. You can just start where you're now, and it's still the place where, if you align with your essence, you'll also align with what can be the form for now, and your twin flame will be attracted to that. And they also undergo this form change, the transformation. For me, after my harmonious twin flame union, I just saw 11111 on the time on the screen. You might like that. That's always, still always a beautiful twin flame number. But now we're at 11128. So time goes by quickly. And in truth, doesn't exist. In my journey, in my harmonious union, I was still very much needing to heal myself of narcissistic trauma. And that meant that I had never, as a child, naturally experienced unconditional love. It was always conditional love, and you needed to look a certain way before you were okay enough to even, I don't know, be here, share the same space or something. So that was deeply traumatized for me. And I still needed to get rid of that trauma, which was perfectly handled because I was in harmonious twin flame union. And that really, wow, I mean, that was something, man, that how I experienced that. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What happened there? The twin flame inner work, always the same true inner work, made me, well, disappear my trauma completely and utterly, as if it never had been there in the first place, which is amazing. And that's also when I started to experiment with looking in a certain new way in my form and in my really my looks, my bodily things, and my wardrobe and whatnot. And that experience also went from like, oh, but I do need to really look good now, but I don't as of yet. That I still feel unconnected to my form. And that just needed some time, some much more love and more love and more love, just like the cards explained, like more poured into my cup and more love poured into my cup, more love into my cup, before I could start to flow over and really start to feel like I collided with my outer looks with how I felt on the inside. That's where I finally ended up right now. But that was a whole journey. And now still forms in life is also like your house and your car and whatnot. All kinds of forms. Life has all kinds of layers of form and whatnot. Like your body is maybe a first one, and like your clothes the second one, and your house the third one and whatnot. And that will be a continual change. I see that now. It's a continual going on of change, 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 change. And I have been moving, not of house, but of internal standpoint, to the core that is ever changing. And that's when I truly felt at home. That will happen to you too. Now we are going to look at other card decks to some sort of, I don't know, expand on this message. Let's start with the vampire cards. Woo! That one was jumping. Religion, canon, rules. Okay. So the miraculous fullness of the twin flame offer is actually, it is like a new religion without all its connotations that you might hate. But there are certain things that help for a true twin flame union. So that's like the rules, if you will, if you like that or not. And it is as important as big religions. It is like the spirituality of union becomes your priority in life as a whole. Doing the twin flame inner work becomes your daily habit all the time. So you might call it that, but some people they hate the idea of religion because they have trauma there. So maybe you should work on that trauma. You do the inner work for twin flames on that trauma, because that's not how you're supposed to live. Let's look into the Oracle of Change. Bats in the bell tower. You can reach so many things right now from where you are. You have a high position, like the bats in a bell tower of the church, which is also like a church. We're just talking about religion. When you come into our community, which is like a quote unquote religion, you can, sitting on the roof of this whole church, reach so many things. And it's so close by now. It's so you can just grab it, can taste it, touch it. And that is the moment for you in which things start to work out for you. It's just so close by. And that's a gift. It's a gift of Divine Mother. It's a true gift. So now we're going to look in the, what's it called? Spiritual messages that I will translate. Do I follow my head, or do I dare to surrender to the choice of my heart? Right, because maybe your head says, oh gosh, no, I'm not going to dive into a community. I'm not going to, oh gosh, no, I just want to have my twin flame on my own. That's it. But your heart may be longing for making it come true. And your heart may be saying that this is it, even though your head can't make sense of that. And now we look into the messages, the personal messages. But these kinds of blocks are only there where I have put them myself. So you can also take them away and follow your heart. The Dragon Fae want to say something. So let's see what they want to say about all of this, what we have been talking about. The Elder. This is the spiritually older, you might say, wise person in your surrounding that wants to give you some advice. Well, who's that? Might be me. All right, so it's like my dragon fae are here to also reach out to you, the dragons that are helping us here. They just want to, through me, reach out to you. That's what that meant, I feel. So, and the Native American deck says, let's see what it says. Equilibrium, the medicine wheel. Of course, it's the medicine wheel. The medicine wheel is a deceptively simple symbol representing everything humans need to know about balance and connection with both earth and spirit. It is divided into four quarters, representing the directions and the seasons, along with many other associations. Also included are the three directions representing Father Sky, Mother Earth, and the sacred tree. In the image, we also see a medicine bag which contains amulets chosen to cure or rebalance the energy of someone who is ill. Objects may include stones, roots, berries, coins, beads, and other small items. With honest self assessment, you can determine the medicine you need in order to achieve well being. Equilibrium, recovery, transformation, completeness, healing, connection. Wow, so it feels like we're making a full connection here. This is the full connection, the full circle. We've come full circle. Everything functions here. People reach their harmonious twin flame unions. They reach all kinds of miracles all the time. It's a natural state of being here and also of humanity in general. Just like being a twin flame and making that come true in the physical world is your nature. If you want to call it supernatural, that's also fine because you are supernatural of nature. And this card means that we've just reached the full circle. This is it. Everything is here, everything works. That's also why the full school opens soon. And there will also be presented, besides that you can come in a community, besides that you can come for an individual relationship with me through appointments that we can make, besides the VIP sessions, the e-courses, there will come now an opportunity for a group year course that will go on, circle after circle, circle after circle, year circle after year circle, in which you can get to come into connection with the heart work for your harmonious twin flame union and bring all kinds of daily life areas in the union connection, such as business, meditation, sexuality, writing, money, relationship, coaching, and much more. 24 themes I have. That's what we'll do soon. Soon I'll open that year group course. It's going to be called Twin Flame Abundance Now. And that's the moment when it's more like the feeling of the whole school is open. So yeah, maybe that's a good point for you to step in. Or already now, I mean, Facebook group is, for instance, just simply open. Go to the description box below, click it on, and come in. Or ask your strategy session until January 1st. I do give something away that is very special inside of it too. You'll see that when you click the link. So I guess it's just like fully rounded, and that's why we do this reading now. Even though there are those that throw away everything, nevertheless, once they have gotten a lot of it. I think I did that too. That's maybe also why I attract potentially why I attract people that have this problem too. And it's hard to overcome. It is like a self rejection problem in general, or in all kinds of directions. And then, especially also in the twin flame connection too. It's this kind of logic. because it often does become like more challenging, because it's about the real deal. The twin flame journey is about your real deal answer to life in an eternal sense. So yeah, do you say yes to that? And if you have a tendency to say no to yourself in very many other ways, then yeah, you'll need to resolve that in this central way. And for some, that is just for now too hard, but they still can come back and do it and choose it. And I trust that that is what's happening, and I know how hard that is. And I trust it will happen, because that is the kind of miracle that we have here. And God and Divine Mother have shown that many, many times. Inner child of the Oracle of the Roses. So that's the point. Your inner child is that saboteur that took over, that rejects. That's for sure true. So, inner child work can also mean that the adult in you should stand up and guide your inner child in the right direction, instead of giving in to self-rejection. That is inner child work. It's also inner parent work. Parenting is real. If there's one thing that I learned on the journey, then that is that parenting is one thing that I learned in my trauma release, in my true twin flame journey, after harmonious union. Even if there's one thing that I learned from the last 5 years of trauma release in harmonious union, walking through my purgatory experience in the direction of heaven, which I'm entering now after a difficult last 2 months, in which I had to learn the final purgatory lesson. I paid and paid and paid, and now everything starts to lighten up. It's been amazing, amazing, amazing. Like, this is just an experience of eternity, of having gone through all the karma and all the pain that I ever needed to do. Can you imagine how good I feel? Anyway, one of the ingredients of the last 5 years was that I also release, as if I was vomiting it out and out and out and out and out. Like, you can't control vomiting, right? So I couldn't control this. All the childhood trauma that I had. And if there's one thing that I learned in this time of the childhood trauma vomiting out, after I flushed the toilet, and it will never return, because that is the level of healing we're talking about in this realm of union healing. If there's one thing that I learned, then it is that the inner parent should stand up and console you and heal you and guide you. But to have the inner parent stand up in yourself, wow, that's the whole thing. For me, I needed to be healed from my trauma and to heal mental health conditions. And that got done. Amazing. So inner child work does not mean to be overruled by an unruly inner child that wants to take you to the cliff and throw you in it. In other words, to reject your soul family, your teacher, your community, your true twin flame, your harmonious union. That's not inner child work, to let your inner child sabotage you around. Divine Mother wants to say something in this card deck. Let's see. Oops. Our Lady of the Resurrection. The resurrection, the inner parent that makes everything all right, that you may have never gotten. And who is the ultimate inner parent? Who is the spiritual background of the inner parent? Who is the inner alignment of the inner parent, the resurrection of that. Who is the inner mother that supports any inner mother endeavor? That's Divine Mother herself. And you would do well to start a devotion to her. The eternal light dwells in my heart, and as you enter into my heart, held safe in my love for you, that light becomes visible to you. It will show you the way through any darkness and help you understand the purpose of past suffering so that you can let it go and be at peace, free from confusion, shame, or doubt. There is divine purpose within all that is. You have been struggling, and now it is time for rest. Step into the light of my heart now, beloved, and let the darkness go. The time is drawing near for your resurrection and release. And the Egyptian deck, Bastet, the playful, sensual energy that helps with every form of birth, also a resurrection. Make sure you are independent and your freedom is still always with you. There comes a time of creative expression and enjoyment of life. Idea of an exercise: enjoy your bodily senses. Feel that you live. It's like a kitty. Oh, kitty, kitty, cat. So sweet. Yeah. Let's just add the kitty to the feeling of rebirth and resurrection of the true you. And the life purpose deck. Oracle cards. Well, that's what we're doing here now. Light and love. Your goal is to bring healing light and love to the world. All of them. You are supported in your entire endeavor. Never forget that. This is your family and your community speaking. You're safe here. Divine Mother is your family because she's your mother. So no matter how many parents you've missed and how much you've missed them, she can always make that more than fulfilled for you. So please give us an idea of what kind of qualities we can meet here. Acceptance, radical acceptance in the now opens the flow. And what do the angels say of that? There's something that they want to say. Compromise, which I never really liked this card, but it nevertheless comes out all the time. So it sort of means, because compromise doesn't really exist actually in the world of union, but what does exist is alignment with the divine. And then it clicks in and it's good. It's all good. It's the complete solution and a complete fulfillment. Maybe that's just what this means. Again, I always say this. The radical acceptance starts to flow and everything clicks in with each other. And it will be like a fulfillment. The miraculous fullness of the magical twin flame offer. What kind of energy field of the 9 energy points is fit to feel with it? 7, which is divine guidance, which is here. And the brain stem as well is like the entrance here, like light, let light into your brain stem and let that move into the central open part of your brain. Oh yeah, this one. And Mary Magdalene is gonna speak through this deck. I saw this card. Was it this one? Color. Your true expressions, your true color, your true enjoyment. It's time to make it come forward. And that's what the divine guidance leads you towards your true expression. So let's get some numbers and letters and emoticons and symbols. Let's see. When I feel like we're there now. Oh, that's a lot. Okay. G M E 7 A 3 3. We have all kinds of double. D O F B R. Okay. And now I'm just playing with it, like what are we going to make of it? I don't know yet. Gram. The gram. Instagram. We can make a true word here. Gram. Of course, that's like measuring. I can't. I still haven't found a way to show this to you. I'm sorry. It says gram. But that's also Instagram. What about Instagram? Okay, I have an Instagram story. So I communicate with my twin flame through Instagram. And that was prepared by the divine to be the sacred communication method for me. And it sounds very much like, oh, Instagram, yay, whatever. No, it was prepared for me as a sacred method, a sacred space. And that was truly inaugurated. Is that a word? I hope so. By my co-creation with the Christ Masters, with whom I co-create the possibility of harmonious twin flame union. Instagram, can you imagine? So it doesn't matter what it is. Anything can become sacred because what flows through it is sacred. Twin flame communication, sacred. And now I have geef, which is a Dutch word. And it means giving. So it means this sacred giving is going on the gram. We had 2 G's, so we still have the 2 words lying here. They're still here. Now we have 337. So this means the connection between the divine feminine and the divine masculine in the energy points in the 9-point energy system that I developed with the Divine Mother. And the 3 is the divine feminine anchor point inside your individual energy system, which does not mean that you don't have like a higher level of spiritual levels in which you always are only the divine masculine or the divine feminine as a whole. But then underneath that, inside of that fact, you also have an energy body. And the idea of the qualities of divine masculine and divine feminine anchor into your energy body nevertheless. And that is 3 for the divine feminine, and it anchors into from the backside the most, and it is at your tailbone, the height of your tailbone. And the 7 is for your divine masculine anchoring in point, and that is what we just said here. And like let the light into the brain stem, and then let the light come into the hollow space, in the central space in your brain. That stands for divine 7, divine masculine, divine guidance. 3, divine feminine, feeling at home, belonging. We have 2 3s. So I think that we need to feel a lot at home today. That's really important. Feel at home in yourself and in the community and in the relationship with it and with the teacher. Feel at home. And then also the divine guidance can play a role there. Otherwise, it also doesn't matter. If you receive divine guidance, but you don't feel at home, and you feel completely disconnected from your hip area, from your sexuality, from feeling safe, from being connected to the earth, well, who needs divine guidance in that case? Nothing will come of it as well. Because you need to combine that with the earth and with action and with communication and with really being here and with being concrete and real and true and made come true. So, yeah. Oh, now we have still left a D and a B, which is DB, Deutsche Bahn. That is the German. Deutsche Bahn is the German train company that I took to go to my first spiritual teacher. That's how I got to know Deutsche Bahn. So it connects me to my first spiritual teacher that was a true spiritual teacher, and also of a past life that I remember and that is still very famous. There in that one, he was also my teacher, and I think he was always my spiritual teacher. That's how I went to visit him. That's my communication channel with him. And I took Deutsche Bahn to go to a twin flame client last year that reached very quickly harmonious twin flame union afterwards as a result of that. Because I meditated with her and I brought her to the forefront, in the focus of Divine Mother. I said to Divine Mother, we meditated together, and I said to Divine Mother, here, this woman is with me here, and she wants what I have. So, and then it happened very quickly. There she went. Incredibly deep healing. It was actually immediately done. Also, in the moment, I knew it was done and we had reached it when I sort of opened my eyes and Everything was some sort of running in the world again. And then a man came in and sat next to her. And then I knew that we had her true twin flame that was going to sit next to her, at least in spirit again. And we would see that real soon, because that was the manifestation that happened in that moment. And then she fell into deep healing, but actually it had already happened for her. And a deep healing came, and not even 3 months later, she was in harmonious union. So that's also how did you know that is actually the core, or a core, of what happens here, what I do for people, with people. I bring you in consciousness before Divine Mother, and I say, see, this person came to me. Can you give to them what you gave to me? Or something of that nature. That's some sort of what happens in my heart. And because I have a relationship with Divine Mother that I maintain and that I repaired in the first place, there is leverage to what I say to God. And this person will likely get it, get the healing, get to be with their twin flame now. Which doesn't mean that there is like an immediate like wedding the next day at noon, or an immediate festive emotion that never stops. It's not about an emotion, remember. It's about your true twin flame in harmonious union, in an actual relationship there. So that takes a little time, to feel the healing, to choose that, to have them show up or know whom it is unequivocally, and go to the consciousness state. Just you're a physical human being. It takes a little bit, to have that unfold for you. But in principle, in the moment, it's done. So that was a very good experience and a very good example of what truly happens here. And I went to her with a Deutsche Bahn. That's what happens when you live in the Netherlands. That's close to Germany, close to the German border, neighbor countries, which doesn't matter, but this is just a symbol for that right now. It's a symbol for me communicating with my teacher and me communicating with my students. Which is what this whole life was going to be about. So there it is. It is very powerful to meet me in real life. Well, this is a live, but it's not in real life. So in the future, I will keep possibilities for you to meet me in real life, but they will be not very often. And that's very powerful. You might just heal immediately. And going to harmonious twin flame union, going to live with your twin flame, be with your twin flame, marry your twin flame, that's also what I call a healing. It is a healing. Well, that's just a word. We make it come true for you. And the difference, we bridge the gap. Well, that's what I call a healing. So that's really what happens with people. That's why it works, what we do here. Not because you meet me in real life, but because I bring you in consciousness before Divine Mother, nevertheless. Because I have that relationship repaired. And when you just start to come closer and do the thing online and whatnot, that starts to work on you. But maybe in real life is like more of a dramatic experience. And online might be, a little bit more mild. and depending on you, because you can go all in right now, dive in, start to study everything, commit, invest. That would certainly be helpful. That is helpful because you're organizing for yourself that same intensity. See, that's how it starts to work. That's how it starts to work. We still have an O. So I feel like this is the Om, but spelled as OHM maybe. Sometimes they also spell Om, the basic vibration and sound of the universe, as AUM, but sometimes also as OHM. I don't know, the same idea is expressed, and that is Om, as well, what I said, the basic sound of the spiritual sound of the universe. Which is what this is all about. But then to the degree of, to the wisdom of, to the power to make come true, the degree of that of the true twin flame. Which is like often a degree deeper than anything else that I've learned before. Than I even learned from my teacher that I went to Deutsche Bahn with 20 years ago, 25 years ago. That's how old I am. I just gave myself away there. Just joking. Anyway, well, this was not a joke, but it was a joke nevertheless. Self-deprecating laughter. So let's close it off with the golden tarot, because we can. Let's give it a shuffle and, I don't know, ask for, I don't know, maybe just some spontaneous cards that I see that strike me, and then turn them around and see what is being communicated to us at this time. Damn, no, I'm not gonna get that one. I just had the feeling that I was still shuffling. So just let me give it a little bit of a shuffle and just, turn it around a little bit. And then after I shuffled, let's just see what will come out. Should I like close it off? How can we close this off? Was there still something that needs to be said? Did we say everything? Is there like a conclusion to be made? Like an overview? Did I forget something? 2 cards. Ooh, I saw that already. 3. Well, okay, 4 then. All right, I already saw something here that made me enthusiastic. I saw a glimpse of this one. The 10 of coins. This is the passing on of the legacy to the new generation. That's exactly what I was talking about with the Deutsche Bahn letters from the train, with which I went to my teacher and with which I now, 20 years later, went to a student that I helped go immediately to her harmonious twin flame union in real life. 10 of coins. This is the passing on of the legacy. That's what this card is about. Of the abundant legacy, also of the money. But the money is the value, and the value is the energy, and the energy is the vibration of Om. It's the valuable vibration that we talked so much about earlier today of the twin flame and the passing on of that. And these sacred women are busy with their daily life in the garden, which is in the soul, to harvest these fruits from the trees and pass them on. That's what happens here. And the other one is the tower that came out as first, which is God's hand comes in and does it for you. So that's what happens here, people. We pass on the legacy of God, which is your true twin flame in harmonious union. And it is passed on from teacher to student and from teacher to student and from teacher to student. And that's what we do here. This is the truth of the work, the miraculous fullness of the magical twin flame offer. And those that do not throw everything away, this is the truth of the matter. And we have another two cards that came out. Well, this is God, the connection with God, but it is turned around. So that's like an emphasize or the idea of that it's non-traditional. This is the connector with God, but in a non-traditional way. This is what happens here. Even though I sometimes do refer to tradition. Last week I did a live with Twin Flame Abundance Live, in which I talked about tradition for a little bit. Tradition says that the souls in purgatory were celebrated last week, exactly a week ago. That's what I talked about last time. And the Ace of Coins was given right side up, not reversed. And that is the opportunity that is here for you. You can take it and make sure that you're not going to throw it away later. But you keep on taking it and receiving it and receiving it and receiving it, because this is your fresh opportunity to have it all in eternity. And I hope you found this reading again educational, maybe entertaining. You found truth in it, and I hope that you found help through it. We live in a time in which we're working towards the opening of the school much more, which will be with a year group course for twin flames that want to work on the union consciousness and go to harmonious union. And it will be called Twin Flame Abundance. Now it will start soon. We live now in November. And in November, we still have, as always, the monthly program in our Facebook group. And in that community, you're welcome to come in. Link is below. And tomorrow, we have the key workshop, which will give you a taste of what it means for you to do the twin flame inner work. And you can just jump in. Go to the Facebook group, look into the program, read the details, and I will see you tomorrow. But you can also, if you want to, in November, do this one. This is going to be a lot of fun. On Monday, 18th, we start with the love game. It will be a love game in which I will be sharing from my heart about 5 elements, 5 approaches to love that are fit for twin flames to know about and to work their work in deeper so that they connect deeper with what it's all truly about, which will be very helpful to get into your harmonious union. And we're going to do 5 days of a lot of fun in the love game. You'll be able to download your daily exercises with the workbook. And you'll be able to be in a community together with other people that participate. And you'll be invited to the social Zoom, in which we can talk a little bit about how you are going with your exercises that you do every day. There will be a bonus day, and there will be other bonuses too that you can get. Oh gosh, I'm just gonna share a lot of presents there again. And I really want you to experience that. So, yeah. Jump in that one. It's completely for free. I decided to give that away as an entire experience of 5 to 6 days. And yeah, I only need your name and your email address. The link I will put after I close this off below this video. Or I'm just going to also, I will do that after I close it off. But I also will publish it right now here in the chat. So this is the link that you follow for entrance of the 5 elements of the Union Heart love game that starts on Monday, November 18. Now, I think that's enough for all kinds of things that you could do with us. Time's up. This lasted 2 hours, which is a true record length of my lives. So, yeah, I guess we're finished. Thank you so much for watching, and of course also for, well, giving a reaction, because that always helps, and it can be so nice if you're completely here at the end of the entire video, even if this was a recording. Let me know that you came all the way here by giving me a flame or 2 flames. What about 2 flames? Twin flames. As a reaction below, as emoticon. And if you can't find the emoticons, then write the word flames. So I wish you a lot of flames. I hope to see you real soon in one of the opportunities that I summed up, or something else. Much love from Petra.